Hi, I'm Dr. Chris Gubles from Square One, and today I want to talk to you about how chronic pain has a negative impact on your overall immune function. You see, whenever you have pain signals or inflammatory signals coming from joints, that triggers what we know as stress signals, and those stress signals go to the stress control centers of your brain, and that triggers what we know as the stress response or fight or flight. Now, whenever you're in fight or flight or your body has a stress response going on, your body makes many different hormones. But one of the most important of those stress hormones is something we know as cortisol. You see, cortisol plays very critical functions in initial inflammatory healing phase. And what happens is whenever your body starts to have chronically elevated pain signals and chronically elevated inflammatory signals, your body is not able to maintain high levels of cortisol. In fact, over time, your cortisol levels actually start to go down. And as your cortisol levels go down, your body starts to have an impaired ability to regulate both inflammation and impaired ability to heal and repair itself, so it even drives up more chronic pain. So when you look at that overall, when you combine chronically suppressed cortisol levels, and you combine that with chronically elevated inflammatory levels and chronically elevated pain levels, that starts to create chronic stress on your body, which negatively impacts your immune system. And that can make you more susceptible to many infections and even more susceptible to some forms of cancers. So we know that how you control your body physically, like your overall physical health and your overall well-being are directly controlled together, and they're directly tied together very closely. And we live in a modern day society, especially when you have a lot of us that do a lot of sedentary things, that leads to a lot of spinal problems. And joints can very easily get locked up and not move, and it's very easy to have chronic inflammation just from being sedentary, not alone considering other traumas we may sustain. You combine that with chronically elevated inflammatory diets, that leads to lots of different problems. Now, one thing I want to be very clear on is that chiropractic is not a treat for elevated or altered hormone levels, and it's also not a treatment for decreased immune system. But we know that evidence is very clear that chiropractic care is very effective in reducing inflammation in joints that are locked up and not moving, what we know as subluxation. And it's also very effective in reducing spinal pain and improving over spinal health and function. So one of the critical roles in your overall health and well-being, with all the things we know you should be doing, is to maintain a healthy body physically, and that 100% is directly tied into maintaining a healthy spine and a healthy functioning spine. So for your overall health and well-being, make sure you're going in, you're seeing a chiropractor, you're getting your spine checked, not to necessarily treat things, but just to make sure you have proper spinal health and function to improve your overall health and well-being.